You're listening to Where You Live with Gene Sullivan.
Welcome back, everyone. Yes, a little bit of respect. That is what homeowners and board members need for one another living in an HOA community. Well, welcome back to Where You Live. I'm broadcasting from the True North Painting Studios. The show is brought to you by Extreme Exteriors and American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency. As an American family agent, Kim believes that there's so much more to insurance than the policy itself. It's about providing you with dependable protection and services. Kim believes that trust and credibility can't be demanded. It can only be earned by what you say and what you do. Give her a call at 651-482-1598 and tell her Gene sent you. It's time now to hear from the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association. The MHA Minute is brought to you by Start to Finish Maintenance Contractors. Start to Finish provides 24-hour service for all your home and business maintenance needs. Call Start to Finish at 952-259-1219 for your home, for your business, for your peace of mind.
If you're renting out a property for the first time, there's a lot you need to know so that you can do it successfully and, frankly, keep yourself out of trouble. Luckily, there's a statewide resource with all the tools you need to run your new business successfully. In fact, the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association regularly holds a seminar called Accidental Landlord, specifically designed for people who are renting out a property for the first time. They also have residential leases, security deposit agreements, a lead disclosure, and lots of other forms. They even have brochures on the principles of successful property management and the eviction process that you can download for free. So if you want to know more about the Accidental Landlord Seminar or other classes about owning, managing, or maintaining anything from a single unit to a growing apartment portfolio, visit the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association's website, mmha.com. That's two M's, mmha.com.
As we wrap up this story today about the Seinfeld statute, a bill about nothing, a well-meaning, and I truly mean that. I bet that State Representative Melanie George Smith's intent is to truly help when there seems to be disputes in homeowner associations. But as I said, disputes are good. We need them in our life. That's part of what makes us adults. It's part of what makes us resilient. It's part of what allows us to develop negotiating skills. It's what allows us to have give and take. You take that away because you say, I can't handle it. People have too much stress in their life, and you're really doing a disservice. If people at a local HOA community level cannot take care of disputes, how can you expect that people now, these same people, can go on to deal with disputes at the city level, state, or federal level? And so we don't want to create a bunch of victims here. We want to be able to create people who know how to handle and deal with things. And what we talked about earlier in the show, what's really wonderful about this, there is a process in place. Homeowners that don't like something that's happening, as is the case of this Maple Hill Townhome Association with the board president, they have a very effective thing in front of them, and it's called the election of the board. And here they were dealing with an issue over 5 years, $45,000. It's costing everybody in the HOA. And it was a silly, ridiculous thing that should have never gone to this result. Homeowners should have said, you know what? The next time we have that annual meeting, President Douglas was her name, you're going to be out of here. We're not voting you in again. We're going to get someone else. And the real issue here with Representative Smith, they said she acknowledged that there was a big issue with a lot of homeowner associations and being able to collect fees, and she understood a part of it, so I do appreciate that. She did acknowledge that associations need that those funds on a monthly basis to be able to meet the operating budget, to be able to continue to supply all the services that all the homeowners expect. But she didn't think that that what was in front of the board was fair, so let's put another layer of government, and that will always muddy the case up more. You've heard of the saying, too many cooks spoil the broth, right? And I think that's what we're doing here. We're getting just too many people in here. What was acknowledged that could be part of the issue is how liens are taken care of in the state of Delaware. If I'm reading things correctly in this article, it says to file a lien in Delaware, the document just simply must be notarized and formatted per the requirements of the county recorder of deeds. And then it gets filed and it is placed against the property. The recorder of deeds of office doesn't have the authority to determine whether a document has been recorded is authentic or not. Well, if that's the case, maybe that's the real issue. One of the things I'm happy to say about the way the system works here in Minnesota, that's not a big deal. If someone wants to place a lien on your property, like your HOA, they have to go through a process that's called perfecting the lien. What does perfecting the lien mean? It means they need to go through and prove that the money is actually owed, and then it's authenticated, and then it gets placed as a lien against the property. And if that's what needs to take place in Delaware, maybe that's what Representative Smith ought to be concentrating on, and not an entire extra layer of government to take care of a dispute that wouldn't have to be a dispute. It wouldn't be a dispute, would it, if the lien was perfected and it was authenticated as something that the association does have against a particular homeowner. So I think that they're going around it all the wrong way. And like I said here in closing, if you are going to be living in an HOA, you can't get to a point and say, I'm a victim, I'm helpless, there's nothing I can do. If you are a member in an HOA, you are one of the most powerful people. You are the people that the board needs to look up to. And the board looks up to you every time you vote, every time you participate in the process. So don't sit back and say, I'm not going to be involved, because if you do that, you're giving up your liberty and freedom to someone else. Well, that's all the time we have for today's show. Thanks for joining me. I hope you have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you here next Saturday on Where You Live.